Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be doing a relatively simple job on this 2007 Mazda 3. What we're going to be doing is replacing the lower control arm. The lower control arm ball joint is very loose on this car, and you could replace just the ball joint itself, but I'm going to go ahead and replace the whole lower control arm just because I don't have a ball joint press. I didn't want to go get one, and I got a really good deal on a lower control arm. It's not really that much harder to do. It's almost easier to do to replace the whole lower control arm. So that's what we're going to do today. I'd rate this probably like a 5 out of 10 on the difficulty level. You don't really need any special tools, but you do need to get in there and take a few things apart. So, I mean, it's not too difficult. With the right tools, all said and done, you should be able to do it within 30 to 45 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get at it. First thing we got to do is jack up the car and take the tire off. Okay, so like I said, first thing we're going to do is jack up this car and take the tire off. Go. And because this car is a standard, we're going to go ahead and have to put it into gear. Now that it is in gear, tire's locked, we can go ahead and take it off. This car uses a 21mm lug. Okay, and once you got all the lugs off, you can go ahead, pull the tire off. This one is seized on there, just give it a little whack, it'll come right off. We can set it aside. And now we can go ahead with the rest of the installation. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is we have to remove the bolt right here. I know it's going to be hard for you guys to see on this camera, which is why I got this GoPro set up. There's a bolt right here that holds the lower control arm onto the knuckle. That's the ball joint bolt. So we're going to take that nut off. It's right here. It's a 14mm. I've already broken it loose, so you're definitely going to have to break it loose with a breaker bar. But I've just got a ratchet on here now, and I can just undo it like so. Okay, now that you've got that bolt off, you're going to have to separate the ball joint, or the lower control arm, from the knuckle, which is you're going to have to take the bolt off. So I'm going to grab a hammer the bolt off, and then take a pry bar and pry the lower control arm down. Okay, now that we got the nut off, we're going to hammer this bolt out, which is kind of tricky. Hard to get in there. Okay, now that we've got the bolt and nut off of this lower control arm ball joint, we're going to go ahead and take off the first bolt up here that holds the control arm to the frame. It is a 19mm bolt. So we're going to go ahead and take that guy off. Probably going to have to break it loose with a breaker bar. Sometimes this plastic shield can get in the way, but if you just work around it. Okay, once it's broken loose, you can grab a ratchet and just start taking it off. There we go, there's one bolt. Now we got 2 more bolts to take over on the opposite side here. So we'll get the camera set up and we'll do those 2. Okay, now we'll do the 2 on the other side. And they are 17 mil. I'm gonna try and do it without breaking them loose, but I don't know if that'll work or not. Nope, I'm gonna have to break them loose. Okay, grab a breaker bar. Oh yeah, they're tight. Oh, all the bolts on this vehicle are so tight. Gonna have to do it again. Time. Okay, there's one. Now I'll do the other one. This is a 36-inch breaker bar, and I'm having a struggle with it. They're tight. There we go. Okay, now we can take them off with a ratchet. I now got the 2 17 mil bolts out, and let me tell you, they did not want to come out. That was a struggle. I turned the cameras off and I spent probably 10 minutes getting them out, got PB Blaster, WD-40, everything to try and get them out. But now that they're out, we're gonna try and pry off this control arm. So now all the bolts are out and loose. The only thing that's holding it in is the ball joint on the bottom of the knuckle here. So I can't get that out. It's too seized in. So I'm gonna try and pry it from the back, and then hopefully it'll drop out. So that's what we're gonna do. Just like so. There we go. There we go. Now the whole lower control arm is out. Now we just got to separate it from the ball joint here, right here. To do that, we're going to try and pry it down. Might grab a hammer and try and hammer it off. This is garbage anyway, so we're not going to need it. So it doesn't really matter if we wreck it or not. Okay, so we got the control arm out. As you can see, this bushing, or this ball joint, is shot. The rubber's all cracked, and there's tons of play in it. So that is shot. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the new one on now.